Before you start worrying about your joint pain, don't stress. There are some simple things that you can do to manage it better. Joint pain is something millions of people face every day, and it can really affect how you move, work, and even enjoy your favorite activities. When joints hurt, it's not just uncomfortable. It can limit your mobility and impact your overall quality of life. Whether it's your knees, hips, hands, or any other joints, pain can make daily tasks feel like a challenge. So what exactly causes joint pain? Well, joint pain often comes from inflammation inside the joints. Inflammation is your body's natural response to injury or irritation, but sometimes it sticks around longer than it should, causing swelling, stiffness, and discomfort. This chronic inflammation can gradually damage the joints and make your pain worse over time. If left unmanaged, it might even lead to conditions like arthritis, which affects millions and can make movement progressively harder. Now, here's the good news. Managing joint pain is not just about medication or physical therapy. Your diet plays a huge role in how much inflammation builds up in your body. Believe it or not, the foods you eat can either help reduce inflammation or make it worse. Some foods trigger inflammatory responses that worsen joint discomfort, even if you don't realize it. So cutting out these inflammatory foods can really make a difference. According to various studies, certain foods are more likely to increase inflammation in your joints. When you eat these regularly, your body produces chemicals that can ramp up swelling and pain. That's why it's so important to be mindful of what's on your plate if you want to keep your joints healthy and pain-free. On top of that, eating a diet rich in anti-inflammatory foods like fruits, vegetables, and omega-3 fatty acids can help reduce joint inflammation and improve your mobility. Managing joint pain isn't just about short-term relief. It's about maintaining an active lifestyle and preventing further damage to your joints. When inflammation is controlled, your joints stay more flexible, and you're less likely to experience flare-ups. So if you're looking for ways to stay active and comfortable, understanding how your diet affects your joints is a great place to start. There are some simple things that you can do right now to take control of your joint health. For example, being aware of which foods tend to trigger inflammation can help you avoid those pain flare-ups. Even small changes, like cutting down on sugary snacks or processed foods, can make a noticeable difference in how your joints feel. And it's not just about cutting things out. It's also about replacing them with healthier options that support joint health. According to the Arthritis Foundation, certain dietary choices can influence how severe your joint symptoms become. They point out that sugar and processed foods are major culprits in increasing joint stiffness and pain. So if you love snacking, try to avoid processed meats and fried foods, which also tend to promote inflammation. Instead, aim for whole, unprocessed foods that help your body fight inflammation naturally. A study found that people who carefully manage their diet and avoid inflammatory foods tend to report less joint pain and better physical function. This shows that what you eat directly impacts your joint health and overall well-being. It's empowering to know that your food choices can help you feel better and move easier each day. If you've been struggling with joint pain, know that you're not alone, and you don't have to just accept it as part of life. There are some simple things that you can do to support your joints, and adjusting your diet is a key step. By understanding how food triggers inflammation and joint discomfort, you're already on your way to making positive changes. Before we dive into exactly which foods to avoid, it's helpful to think about how inflammation works. When you eat foods that cause inflammation, your immune system reacts by releasing inflammatory chemicals. These chemicals can make your joints swell and become tender. Over time, chronic inflammation can damage the cartilage that cushions your joints, leading to more pain and stiffness. On the flip side, eating the right types of foods can help your body calm down this inflammatory response. For example, omega-3 fatty acids found in fish like salmon and flax seeds have been shown to help reduce joint inflammation. Plus, antioxidants from colorful fruits and vegetables help protect your joints from damage. So, while avoiding certain foods is important, adding anti-inflammatory foods is just as crucial. It's also important to remember that not everyone reacts the same way to every food. Some people might find that certain foods don't bother their joints, while others feel a flare-up after eating them. This is why paying attention to your body and how it responds after meals can give you valuable insights into managing your joint pain better. So, if you want to keep moving comfortably and reduce your joint pain, start by focusing on your diet. There are some simple things that you can do that will have a big impact over time. And remember, this isn't about strict dieting or deprivation. It's about making smart choices that support your body's natural ability to fight inflammation. If you're interested in learning more about the specific foods to avoid and why they might be causing your joint pain, stay tuned. We'll guide you through 8 common foods that tend to worsen joint inflammation and explain the science behind each one. Knowing what to avoid can help you feel more in control and take steps toward healthier joints. Before we get into that, just remember, managing joint pain is a journey, and every small step counts. Changing your diet is one of the easiest and most effective ways to start feeling better. So take it one meal at a time, and don't hesitate to ask questions or seek advice from healthcare professionals if you need it. If you want to keep up with tips on how to manage joint pain naturally, be sure to subscribe. We'll be sharing helpful advice on lifestyle changes, nutrition, and exercises that support joint health. Together, we can make joint pain less of a barrier to living your best life. To sum up this introduction, joint pain can seriously impact your daily routine and overall health. It's often caused by inflammation in the joints, but luckily, you have the power to influence that inflammation through your diet. Avoiding inflammatory foods and choosing anti-inflammatory options helps reduce pain, improve mobility, and protect your joints from further damage. So if you're ready to take control of your joint health, keep watching. Next up, we'll explore the first set of foods that you should consider cutting out to help ease your joint pain and inflammation. Remember, there are some simple things that you can do, and understanding your diet is a great place to start. Now, here are the first 3 foods that you should watch out for if you want to keep your joint pain in check. These are some of the most common culprits that many people don't realize are making their inflammation worse. 1. Processed sugars. Processed sugars are everywhere, in sodas, candies, baked goods, and even some savory snacks. The problem with these sugars is that they can ramp up inflammation throughout your body, including your joints. According to the Arthritis Foundation, consuming a lot of sugar can increase the production of inflammatory proteins called cytokines. These cytokines basically tell your immune system to kick into high gear, which leads to more swelling and joint stiffness. In fact, a study highlighted by the foundation found that people who regularly eat foods high in processed sugar report more frequent joint flare-ups and pain. So cutting down on sugary drinks and sweets isn't just good for your waistline. It's also great for your joints. If you love snacking, try to avoid processed sweets and sugary beverages. Instead, opt for natural sugars found in fruits, which come packed with antioxidants that help reduce joint inflammation. For example, berries like blueberries and strawberries have a ton of vitamins and flavonoids that support joint health. So swapping your candy bar for some fresh fruit is a simple switch that can make a big difference. 2. Red meat. Red meat, like beef and lamb, contains high levels of saturated fats and compounds called advanced glycation end products, AGEs. These AGEs can trigger inflammation in the body, including in your joints. A study published in Arthritis Care and Research showed that people who consume a lot of red meat tend to experience worse arthritis symptoms compared to those who eat less. The saturated fats in red meat also contribute to higher levels of C-reactive protein, a marker of inflammation in the blood. On top of that, red meat is often cooked at high temperatures, which increases the formation of these harmful AGEs. So if you want to protect your joints, it's a good idea to limit your intake of red meat, or at least choose lean cuts and cooking methods like baking or steaming instead of frying or grilling. If you're craving protein, try swapping red meat for healthier options like fish, chicken, or plant-based proteins such as beans and lentils. These alternatives have a ton of nutrients that help reduce joint inflammation without the inflammatory side effects of red meat. 3. Refined carbohydrates. Refined carbohydrates are found in foods such as white bread, pastries, and many packaged snacks. These carbs are stripped of fiber and nutrients, which causes them to spike your blood sugar levels quickly. Harvard Health Publishing points out that these rapid sugar spikes can increase inflammation in the body, leading to worsened joint pain and stiffness. When your blood sugar shoots up, your body responds by releasing insulin and inflammatory molecules that can exacerbate joint inflammation. Over time, eating too many refined carbs can make your joints feel stiffer and more painful, especially if you have arthritis. To reduce this risk, try to replace refined carbs with whole grains like brown rice, quinoa, or whole wheat bread. These options have a ton of fiber, which helps regulate blood sugar and combat inflammation. Plus, whole grains provide essential nutrients that support overall joint health. So cutting down on processed sugars, red meat, and refined carbs can really help reduce joint inflammation and improve your pain levels. There are some simple things that you can do, like reading labels carefully and choosing whole, unprocessed foods whenever possible. These small changes add up over time and help your joints feel better. Remember, it's not about completely depriving yourself, but making smarter choices that support your body's natural healing processes. According to a study, people who adopt a diet low in these inflammatory foods report better physical function and less joint pain. So if you're looking for ways to ease your joint discomfort, start with these 3 dietary changes. Now that you know about processed sugars, red meat, and refined carbohydrates, you can begin to see how your everyday food choices might be affecting your joint health. Avoiding these foods or reducing them significantly can help you manage inflammation and maintain joint mobility. If you're ready to learn more, we'll soon look at additional foods that tend to inflame your joints and make pain worse. But for now, focusing on cutting out these first 3 is a great step toward feeling better. And don't forget, there are some simple things that you can do to bolster your joint health beyond just avoiding these foods. Combining a balanced diet with regular exercise, staying hydrated, and getting enough rest all help reduce inflammation and support joint function. If you want to keep up with helpful tips about managing joint pain naturally, be sure to subscribe. We're here to guide you through lifestyle and diet changes that make a real difference. Taking control of your joint health starts with knowledge, and you've already made a great start by learning about these inflammatory foods. So, to recap this section, processed sugars increase inflammatory proteins that worsen joint flare-ups. Red meat's saturated fats and ages contribute to swelling and pain, and refined carbohydrates spike blood sugar and trigger inflammation that makes joints stiffer and more painful. Avoiding or reducing these foods can help you feel less joint discomfort and move more freely. Keep these points in mind as you plan your meals, and you'll be on your way to supporting healthier joints through your diet. There are some simple things that you can do that will have a big impact over time, and it all starts in your kitchen. Next up, we'll explore more foods that commonly worsen joint pain, including some that might surprise you. So stay tuned, and keep taking these small but important steps toward better joint health. On top of that, there are more foods that can really ramp up inflammation and make your joint pain worse. Let's dive into the next set of common joint-inflaming foods you'll want to be cautious about. 4. Fried and fast foods. Fried and fast foods are often loaded with trans fats and unhealthy oils, which are major triggers for systemic inflammation. These types of fats mess with your body's natural balance and promote the production of inflammatory chemicals. Studies published in the Journal of Nutrition have shown that people who frequently consume fried foods tend to experience higher levels of arthritis pain and joint stiffness. Trans fats found in fried foods not only increase inflammation, but also negatively affect your cholesterol levels and heart health. So cutting out fried snacks, fast food meals, and anything made with partially hydrogenated oils can have a double benefit, improving your joint health and your overall well-being. If you love the convenience of fast food, try to limit it and opt for healthier cooking methods at home, like baking, grilling, or steaming your meals. Using heart-healthy oils such as olive oil instead of frying can also help reduce inflammation. 5. Dairy products. Dairy is a bit tricky because it affects people differently, but some individuals find that dairy worsens their joint pain. This is often linked to sensitivity to casein, a protein found in milk and other dairy products. For those who are sensitive, consuming dairy can trigger an inflammatory response that makes joint pain and stiffness worse. Research suggests that eliminating or reducing dairy intake can help some people reduce inflammation and improve joint comfort. If you suspect dairy is contributing to your joint issues, try cutting it out for a few weeks and see if your symptoms improve. There are plenty of dairy alternatives available now, like almond, soy, or oat milk, which can be easier on your joints. 6. Alcohol. While enjoying an occasional drink is fine for many, alcohol can be a problem when it comes to joint health, especially if you have gout or other inflammatory joint conditions. Alcohol consumption can lead to increased uric acid levels in the blood, which is a key factor in gout flare-ups. Gout is a form of arthritis characterized by sudden and severe joint pain, often in the big toe, but it can affect other joints too. Findings from the American College of Rheumatology advise limiting alcohol to reduce the risk of gout attacks and other joint problems. Even beyond gout, alcohol can interfere with your body's ability to regulate inflammation, making joint pain worse over time. If you enjoy drinking, try to do so in moderation and stay well hydrated. Cutting back on alcohol can have a noticeable effect on reducing joint pain and improving your overall health. So far, we've covered fried and fast foods, dairy products, and alcohol, all of which can increase inflammation and aggravate joint pain. Just like with the first group of foods, making small changes such as choosing healthier cooking methods, trying dairy alternatives, and moderating alcohol intake can really help reduce your joint discomfort. According to studies, people who successfully reduce or eliminate these foods often report less joint stiffness and improved mobility. It's clear that these dietary adjustments play a crucial role in managing joint pain naturally. If you're feeling overwhelmed by all these restrictions, don't worry. There are some simple things that you can do, and you don't have to make all these changes overnight. Start by focusing on 1 or 2 foods at a time and see how your joints respond. You might be surprised at how quickly you notice improvements. Also, keep in mind that everyone's body is different. While some people may find that dairy is a major trigger, others might not notice any difference at all. Paying attention to your own symptoms and how they correlate with your diet is key. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, but progress. Every healthy choice you make supports your joints and helps reduce inflammation. Over time, these changes add up and contribute to better joint health and less pain. If you want to keep learning about natural ways to ease joint pain, be sure to stick around. We're about to explore even more foods that could be silently making your joint pain worse. There are some simple things that you can do, and understanding what to avoid is a powerful first step. To recap this part, fried and fast foods are packed with inflammatory trans fats that increase arthritis pain. Dairy products may worsen joint pain for those sensitive to casein, and alcohol can raise uric acid levels, triggering gout and increasing inflammation. By limiting these foods, you're giving your joints a much-needed break. As you work on these dietary changes, don't forget to combine them with other joint-friendly habits, like staying active, managing stress, and getting enough restful sleep. All of these play a role in keeping inflammation down and your joints functioning well. Small steps like swapping fried snacks for baked options, trying out plant-based milk, or limiting your drinks to special occasions can make a huge difference over time. You're not just avoiding certain foods, you're actively helping your body heal and maintain healthy joints. Keep these tips in mind as you continue your journey toward less joint pain and better mobility. There are some simple things that you can do to support your joint health, and avoiding these inflammatory foods is a key part of that. Coming up next, we'll cover a few more foods that might be surprising but can also contribute to joint inflammation. So stay tuned. Now let's look at a couple more foods that might surprise you but can also aggravate joint pain for some people. These aren't as obvious as the ones we talked about earlier, but they're worth knowing about if you want to keep inflammation under control. 7. Nightshade vegetables. Nightshade vegetables include tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, and potatoes. They contain natural compounds called alkaloids, which some people believe may contribute to joint inflammation, especially if you have arthritis or sensitive joints. While the scientific evidence is somewhat limited and mostly anecdotal, many individuals report feeling less joint pain after avoiding these vegetables. The theory is that alkaloids might irritate tissues and trigger inflammation in certain people. A few small studies and case reports suggest that avoiding nightshade vegetables can help reduce symptoms in some arthritis patients. If you think these veggies might be causing you discomfort, try eliminating them for several weeks and see if your joint pain improves. Keep in mind, nightshades are also packed with vitamins and antioxidants that are generally good for health, so it's not necessary to cut them out completely unless you notice a clear reaction. Everyone's body is different, so listening to your own symptoms is key here. 8. Gluten. Gluten is a protein found in wheat, barley, rye, and many processed foods. For people with gluten sensitivity or celiac disease, gluten can cause a significant inflammatory response throughout the body, including in the joints. This inflammation can lead to joint pain, stiffness, and swelling. Research published in the Journal of Immunology highlights the connection between gluten sensitivity and increased joint inflammation. If you have unexplained joint pain along with digestive issues or fatigue, it might be worth getting tested for gluten intolerance or celiac disease. For those who are sensitive, removing gluten from the diet often leads to a marked reduction in joint symptoms and overall inflammation. Thankfully, there are plenty of gluten-free options available today, so avoiding gluten doesn't mean you have to miss out on tasty meals. If you suspect gluten is a trigger for you, consider trying a gluten-free diet for a few weeks while monitoring your symptoms. Many people find that this simple change helps reduce their joint pain and improves their quality of life. So, while nightshade vegetables and gluten aren't inflammatory for everyone, they can be significant triggers for some. There are some simple things that you can do, like tracking your diet and symptoms closely, to figure out if these foods are affecting your joints. The key takeaway here is that joint pain can sometimes be linked to food sensitivities that aren't obvious. By paying attention to how your body reacts to different foods, you can identify and eliminate hidden triggers. This personalized approach can make a big difference in managing joint inflammation naturally. If you're keeping a food diary, note any increases in joint pain after eating nightshades or gluten-containing foods. This can help you and your healthcare provider make informed decisions about your diet. Remember, avoiding these foods isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. But for many people, especially those with autoimmune or inflammatory joint conditions, it's worth exploring. Along with the other foods we've discussed, processed sugars, red meat, refined carbs, fried foods, dairy, and alcohol. These final two complete a list of common dietary triggers that can worsen joint pain. By gradually eliminating or reducing these foods, you're giving your joints a chance to heal and reducing the overall inflammation in your body. This can lead to less stiffness, improved mobility, and a better quality of life. It's important to approach this process with patience and curiosity. Sometimes it takes a bit of trial and error to find out what works best for your unique body. If you want to support your joints even further, consider pairing these dietary changes with other healthy habits like regular low-impact exercise, stress management, and good sleep hygiene. All of these play a role in controlling inflammation and keeping your joints healthy. So now you know about 8 key foods to avoid if you want to reduce joint pain and inflammation. Processed sugars, red meat, refined carbohydrates, fried and fast foods, dairy products, alcohol, nightshade vegetables, and gluten. Making these changes might seem challenging at first, but remember, there are some simple things that you can do to make it easier. Start small, be consistent, and listen to your body. By taking control of your diet, you're empowering yourself to reduce joint pain naturally and improve your overall health. And that's a huge step toward living a more active and comfortable life. Keep these tips in mind as you continue your journey, and stay tuned for more advice on managing joint health. So, to wrap things up, we've covered a lot of ground about which foods can worsen joint pain and inflammation. From processed sugars and red meat to refined carbohydrates, fried foods, dairy, alcohol, nightshade vegetables, and gluten. These are all common culprits that can silently make your joint discomfort worse without you even realizing it. There are some simple things that you can do to take control of your joint health by monitoring your diet closely and eliminating these inflammatory foods. When you reduce or cut out these triggers, you're giving your joints a much-needed break from constant irritation, which helps reduce pain, stiffness, and swelling. It's all about supporting your body's natural ability to heal and maintain healthy joints. Remember, managing joint pain is a journey, but every step counts. Even small changes in your eating habits can add up to big improvements over time. It's not about being perfect, but about making smarter, healthier choices that support your lifestyle and keep you moving comfortably. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more tips on living pain-free and maintaining healthy joints. We're here to guide you through natural and effective ways to manage joint pain and improve your overall well-being. Thank you for watching and taking these important steps toward better joint health. Keep up the great work and stay tuned for more advice that empowers you to live life with less pain and more freedom. If you love the story, like the video and subscribe.